future people. Welcome to Getting Tabled. I'm Jason the Bruce. Welcome to the Jwar Isles, and I'm here with Brother Bear.
G'day, how you going?
And today we are talking about the very, very sneaky, the very, very quiet, the very invisible ninja. They are either the Shadow Wind Clan or the Kage Kaze Zoku. They changed the name of the faction, thankfully, with Rising Sun. It used to be Kage Kaze Zoku, but they changed it to Shadow Wind Clan, which is so much easier to say.
Yeah. No, this is. So in the clan they've got they've got three different houses, I guess is how you would put it. So you've got like Bleeding Moon, which are all the combat guys. You've got the North Star, which are the strategic sort of element, and then you've got the Long Shadow, which are the they're basically like the scouts, so they scout ahead. So and that sort of plays into like the different themes that you can also play with. So there's Assassination, Skirmish, and what's the other one called? I think it's called Scouting Mission. Skirmish Mission and Scouting Mission. Yeah. So they're really cool. They're very, very elitist. Is basically the faction. So yeah, you're paying quite a lot of points for some really hard hitting guys, but they have firstly a huge access to camouflage, which makes them harder to hit. They've got the Assassinate rule, which is majority of them got that or will have access to that, which is really cool. Being able to do, when you're hitting someone in the back with the knife, it's get some extra damage there. It's definitely an advanced faction, we would say.
Yeah. I would argue that this is not a faction that you really want to start with, unless the ninja faction is very much it's very much a thinking faction. Like, it's not really something that you can go into without having a full grip of the game. As much as I love ninja and I really want to play these guys, I definitely don't feel that I'm good enough at this game yet to consider them. And I think that would... if you want to play them, then obviously I'm not here to tell you not to, but just understand that this is not going to be the easiest faction to start with. That in itself can be its own reward when you do get it right, but you're starting on the hard mode.
Yeah, it is definitely an advanced faction, but what's really unique about it is I don't see a lot of people running the same list all the time. It really depends on how you want to approach a problem and how you want to solve it. There's a couple of models that are definitely sort of like an auto include, but
yes.
Then like obviously then you can play at very low numbers, and a lot of like enhancement cards to make your models even better, or you can play it higher numbers if you want an access to very low tech gear or not even that much gear. So it depends on you and how you want to play. But no, it is definitely a challenging faction. So it is definitely a learning curve if you're wanting to begin with that faction. But they've got some beautiful models. So and very unique styling sort of models. But hey, like I reckon everyone should give playing a game on. I reckon everybody should play a game on hard, really, and try to learn that. But yeah, I think it's their sheer amount of of enhancement cards and equipment gives you your models become Swiss Army knives and being able to do a bit of everything, which is really cool.
Yeah. Would you like to start with the actual themes? I think that might be the smarter way to go.
Yeah, sure. There's one particular theme that I think is stronger than the rest, which is Skirmish Mission. So I can touch on that, and then we can go into some of the other ones. So I'll bring up Skirmish Mission. We'll bring it up now. So this theme. So during deployment, add 2 enhancement cards or terrain cards to the warband for free. So you can get access to 2 enhancement cards for free or 2 terrain ones, which is really good, really cool. So straight off the bat, you get some freebies there. And if you're smart, you would go the higher expensive enhancements and save points for the rest of your stuff. Now, during the starting phase, choose 1 friendly ninja model and it gains Disguise 5 marker until the end phase. Now, disguise is an enhancement you can get, but this one gives you a lower disguise for free, which is really awesome. And you can pick on who it's going to be. So if someone's going to have a problem, you can give it to that one. Now, declare this ability at the starting phase. Once per game, until the end phase, friendly ninjas' weapons gain key block when they would benefit from the assassin rule. So being able to you declare when you're going to use it, and being able to have that key block ability when you're hitting somebody in their or when they're surprised in their rear arc is really, really cool. Very, very useful. Would be pretty detrimental to monk players or units that are generating or relying on key abilities, such as your magic users or your cult.
Yep.
At the starting phase, double the pass tokens the warband generates. So roughly in a ninja faction, you're going to be running probably about maybe 4 or you could around 4 models is usually the sweet spot for ninjas. So majority of players play about 7 models. Most factions play up to about 7 models, even more. So the fact that you generate extra pass tokens is just amazing. It allows you to sort of control it and see what sort of happens and definitely plan out. So that's a really, really cool ability. So what is permitted in the Skirmish Mission theme is any ninja, any Ronin ninja, and Karapan, which are the animal sort of griffin-like creatures that the ninjas have access to. Yep. So that's the Skirmish Mission. Did you want to touch on Assassination Mission?
Yep. So, Assassination Mission, during deployment, choose an enemy model. It gains a death sentence marker. During the starting phase, choose an enemy model. When a ninja-friendly model targets or is targeted by that model, or a model with a death sentence marker, the ninja model gains Fearless until the action is resolved. Before the start of the game, you may swap an event card you have recruited for any event card costing the same price or less. In the starting phase, double the pass tokens the warband generates. So in the end phase there, it kind of ends in a similar fashion. You're getting all these extra pass tokens, so the benefit there is obviously the same. But this is more relying on your death sentence markers and stuff to get your bonuses instead. What you will notice, and you'll notice this with all 3 of them, is the permissions are the same.
Yep.
You want to start on Scouting Party?
Yeah, Scouting Mission. Sure. So Scouting Mission. Yeah, so during deployment, up to 3 friendly models gain Scout, 1 4 inches, and once per game during the starting phase, choose a ninja not in line of sight of an enemy model. The chosen ninja gains Disguise 7, a Disguise 7 marker. And then friendly ninja models gain Bravery when they would benefit from the Assassin rule. And at the starting phase, double the pass tokens the warband generates. Same sort of thing. So Scouting Mission would be really good. So if you're going into a tournament and you know there's going to be a lot of the objective sort of missions or the having to get it across the board quicker, Scouting Mission can benefit you quite heavily. To be able to pick 3 friendly ninjas and have them scout 4 extra inches, be deployed 4 extra inches off the table edge was really, really cool. Very, very useful, especially would make your faction very fast. So with this, you would probably want to go, pretty durable sort of ninjas because they're going to be in the line of scrimmage pretty quickly.
Yeah. I think
so
probably
currently the three only themes, and who knows, we might get access to more down the line.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
So again, touching on that, all three of these themes so far have given you access to the same models. So with everything that's available so far, it's not so much that you have to pick a theme and then buy the stuff around it. You can use everything that you own and then pick the theme around what you want to take. It allows you a lot more flexibility. So as much as we're sitting here, or I'm sitting here saying you're playing this game on hard mode, that makes the collecting things a little easier.
Yeah. So
Like, you don't have 30
currently
models to buy to begin with, but even when you do have,
yeah,
you buy your, what is it, 17 right now, and obviously it will become more later, you can use
I believe
all
it's
of them.
yeah, I believe it's 17, and 3 of those are currently Ronin
Too.
models. Yeah, so you're not going to have a lot of models, but that's kind of a good thing. But at the same time, is like each of your unit, each of the models have like a distinct flavor and have like a sort of a job to do. So you can tailor your list to however you want. And then that being said, you could also add additional enhancement cards to make them even better, or give units, a bit more striking power if you want it, or versatility. So it's really, 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 really cool.
Yeah.
So we were toying around with like creating a list, and like this probably, I reckon, was the most difficult for us to do, because we were like, oh yeah, we like this and we like that, and all like, and this is what I was talking about before. Like, so for example, Jason likes a bunch of models, for different reasons, whereas I like different models for other reasons.
Yeah.
So like, but I got to also remember that I got to play these very differently compared to something like Minamoto, where like I rely on pure brute strength. I have to play a bit like, you're right. A little bit of instead of playing checkers, I got to play chess now. So,
Yeah. But that's not the only part of this conversation, though, because then when you and I went to the Ninja Players, or I'm going to give credit here, when you went to the Ninja Players, it wasn't just us. All of the Ninja Players do this, to the point where Master Enos has even commented on the fact that everybody plays this faction differently, and it's one of the reasons why at this stage we don't have any themed boxes or anything for them, because it's a faction that everybody plays so differently. It's kind of hard to tie that down in a way that's actually going to please everybody.
Yeah, so we normally would start with a beginner box and then try to improve on it, but there currently isn't anything for this faction.
Yes.
Because you can, there's many ways to skin a cat, and that's how you would sort of go with this sort of with faction. There are, as we mentioned earlier, there are a couple of models that are definitely auto includes.
Yes.
Ghost being one of them.
Would you like to start? Would you like to start with Mr. Auto Include?
Sure, I can. Yeah, we'll bring up Ghost. We'll start with Mr. Happy. Well, not so happy face, but yeah. So Ghost, he's 23 rice. He's an unknown, and he's a ninja. He's got a melee pool of 3. He can boost that for 3 key. He's got a movement of 4. He can boost that for 3 key. He's got 3 range, and then he can boost that for 3 key. He generates 2 key per turn, and he can hold 8. He's got a Daisho, which gives him +1 strength in combat. He's got sidestep defense 0, and he's got throw attack 0. So the throw attack's really awesome. So after you figure out the combat, you move the enemy away, and if they knock in and they go prone, if they knock into another model, that other model gets prone as well. So a lot of your Buto for Silver Moon players will have throw attack. Now, Ghost has got armor 1, so he's got 1 armor. He's got the assassin rule. He's got camouflage 2 inches, which means no model can shoot him or attack him unless they're within 2 inches, unless they have some special ability like aware or sixth sense. Sorry, sixth sense is the rule. He's got dodge 1. He's got fear 6. I mean, he's a ghost after all. He's got light-footed, and he's soulless. Now, I'm going to quickly just touch on the assassin rule, because I don't think we've touched on it before, or we may have, but it's definitely going to come up a lot.
Yeah.
So if this model makes a successful attack against a surprised model, it may roll 3 dice in the damage roll caused by the attack and choose 2 to add together. So that would mean you would roll 3 dice, and then you can pick which ones out of those to add to make your damage calculation. So let's say, for example, you rolled a 2, a 3, and a 6. You would definitely want the higher number, so you would take the 9 on the damage chart. And surprised would be if you are hitting them in their rear arc, or so 180-degree arc. So out of line of sight for that model. Now, back to Ghost. He's got 2 sort of key abilities. One is Vitality, which I think is one of the best perks in the game. So it's a once per turn ability for 3 key. instant, and it just affects yourself. This model gains an activation token counter. Fantastic. And the other one, he's got Apparition for 2 key. You have to be the active player, and it only affects yourself. Place this model within 2 inches of its current location. This key feat may only be used once per activation. His unique effects are at the start of this model's activation, choose one of the following. Place this model elsewhere. It gains flank and returns to play using those rules. He gains the flank rule, which is really awesome. This model gains intangible until the end of the activation. So intangible, basically, he ignores zones of control. And just really, really good. Now, while attempting to target this model, enemy models lose 6 cents.
That is key.
That's his brilliantness. That's what you're paying 23 rice for. That's just amazing. So 6 cents is normally something you get freaked out by, but guess what? He doesn't care about it. He's like, he's a ghost. So yeah, this is probably why Ghost is an auto clue. Just that versatility that he has. He's got a decent profile in combat. I mean, I've come up across him. I do get nervous every time I play him because depending on the player, he could be really, really aggressive, or he could go after my. He's not going to beat a samurai really in combat unless it's exhausted. But Ghost should be used to target the weaker models, just to drain your opponent of activations and options. That's really what you want to use him for.
Here's the big thing that I notice. So in those unique effects, it's not move 3 inches, push 2 inches. It's place model elsewhere.
Correct.
So I'm in front of one of your guys, and then I can just go, okay, well, I'm going to activate this guy now, and I'm just going to pick him up and put him behind your model, and now I'm going to assassinate you. And there's you don't get any retribution for it because I'm not moving. I'm just placing him somewhere else. It's absolutely nasty. It's not. I wouldn't say it's broken, but there's a reason this guy's expensive.
Yeah, so you could do Apparition at the start of your turn, and you could even get him out of because it's place. You can get him out of combat. So let's say, for example, he's on his last wound, and you want to you want to do something quickly. You want to hurt something, or you want to get out of trouble. Apparition would be really, really, really great. You have to be the active, so it has to be at your turn. So I'll definitely start it at the beginning of your move. Put him 2 inches, say, behind an enemy model, and then you can charge it into the back.
That is true as well, but I was more referring to the unique effect, place this model elsewhere, it gains flank and returns to play using those rules.
Yeah, so you can remove him from the board, and you can put him on one of the table edges that you note down. So you can use that rule.
I'm misunderstanding the meaning of that rule then. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was reading that as just place it elsewhere on the board.
Yeah, no. So
and that's just absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that would be very, very bad. But yeah, no. So the flank rule is like he comes on from either one side, from turn 2, and you write down what side he's going to come on and everything like that. That's how the flank rule sort of works. But no, Apparition is still really, really good. You might see it a few ninja models have Apparition, so it's still it's a good rule because it's basically like smoke bomb disappears and moves somewhere where it needs to. But it's also a really good ability because there are. So, for example, I was playing a game recently where somebody was using sidestep defense. Funny enough, it was as an Ito, and they were up against my. they were up against my Tetsu Bear. Now, there's for Minamoto, there is a rule called I believe it's Bear Hug, or is it Bear Hug, which basically it's like if you're going to move. So if your opponent was to move out of base-to-base contact with you, you can use this event card. And you basically say, nope, you're not going anywhere. You're staying right there. So my opponent tried to do that with one of his models who was quite low on health. And I was like, nope, I want you to stay right there because I could foresee like some flanking shenanigans happening. Some charging in the rear arc sort of shenanigans happening, which I didn't want to. But because it says move, right, like place is different from move. So that ability, and there's a few out there that do something similar because it's place,
Yeah.
It's completely different. It just bypasses that. If it was to move, stop that movement.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no.
Ghost
is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. He's I really like the model. I like how he's drawing the sword. He's got a little knife. I have heard some things. Some people have said like the knife is very fragile.
I
So
could tell you that just by
I mean,
looking at it. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a little like little blade, but yeah, it could be something that might be problematic for you. So if you're building that model, be careful. Little disclaimer. Who did you want to talk about now? In our little
I will move on
85
to
list.
Shizuka.
Yep.
So, Shizuka is another really good. All of these models are gorgeous, quite frankly. She's a long shadow ninja. She costs 18 rice. She has 3 melee. She can boost it for 3. She has 4 movement. She can boost it for 3. She's got 3 ranged. She can boost it for 3. She generates 2 ki, and she can hold 8. She has 6 wounds. She holds a sai. There's no strength bonuses. She has sidestep defense 0 and counter strike defense 0. Counter strike defense 0 is really nasty. She has armor 1, assassin, camouflage 2 inches, dodge 1, evasive, light-footed, and parry 1. Now, she does have 2 key abilities. First is Mirage. It'll cost you 2, and it's an instant. During an enemy model's activation in which it entered base to base with or targets this model with a ranged attack or key feat before any melee exchange begins, make an opposed key test against that model. If successful, place this model within 2 inches of its current location. The enemy's model's activation is considered resolved. So, sorry, I'm not actually there, I'm over here. Oops, what a shame.
Yeah.
I really like that. I have seen that elsewhere, but it's a really nice. It does feel very ninja. And she also has Shadow Walk, which will cost 1. You need to be the active. It's only personal. Both of these are once per turn abilities, by the way. If this model is out of line of sight of enemy models, place it within 3 inches of its current location. So it's a free extra move, basically.
Yeah.
Her unique effects. At the start of this model's activation, choose one of the following. This model gains Agile until the end of the activation, or this model's melee profile gains Pierce 2 until the end of the activation. This model is amazing.
Yeah. She's definitely probably the best Vim, so a very important model for the ninja faction. I reckon, yeah, she's definitely up there. There's definitely a lot of the feedback I was getting from the ninja players out there, especially Joel. He raves about her. In fact, I was playing my friend Morgan, who is just he's new to Bushido. He's also studied the art of the I don't know, the silent foot or whatever it is. He does ninjutsu. And he loves this faction. He loves all the models. And when we were playing our game, Shizuka was really, really good. I underestimated her, especially the counter strike defense 0. Yeah. So yeah, her unique ability getting agile, where she can ignore enemy models in base space contact. It's just really, really good. Just especially if she's in a bit of trouble, you can go, nah, cool. I'm gonna, especially for like a faction that has access. You're paying quite a lot of points for models, and you don't want them to, if you need to get them out of trouble, these abilities are really, really cool.
Yeah. No, I agree. Who do you want to go on to next?
You mentioned her Pierce 2 ability, didn't you? Yeah, that's also really good.
Oh yeah,
that benefit. Yeah, that's I think Morgan, with his ninjas when he played me, broke through some of my Minamoto armor. I was quite not niffed. Niff's not the word. I was surprised. I'm going to go talk about Kohai.
Yep.
Now, I can't tell if this model is male or female, so I will refer to it as them. I'm guessing their pronouns. Sorry. Okay, so Kohai, this model is 20 rice. They are a member of the Lone Shadow Ninja. Well, they're a member of the Lone Shadow Ninja clan. It's a ninja. It's got a melee pool of 3, can boost that for 3. Has movement 4, boost that for 4. Has range of 3, can boost that for 3. Generates 2 ki a turn, can hold 8. Has 6 health. It's got a ninjato, which gives it sidestep defense 0, sweep attack 0, amazing, and has +1 strength. This model has daggers, which are lightweight, 0 strength, but their range is 3, 5, and 7. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Now, they have armor of 1. They've got the assassin rule. They've got camouflage 2 inches. They're light-footed and have resistance 1. I'm a fan of resistance. Anything giving that benefit, especially against opposed key tests, is always really helpful. This model has Hail of Steel, which is 2 ki. You have to be the active model. You can't be in base contact, and it's a once per turn ability. This model gains Rapid Fire 3 until the end phase. To the end of the current activation, sorry. The Rapid Fire 3 on your daggers is amazing. Now, you could also take an enhancement card, say, and then give that range, give that ranged weapon of yours Hail of Steel. Now, this model also has Prediction, which costs 2 ki. You have to be the active model. It's a special ability. So this model's controller's opponent must declare which model they have to choose as their next activation model. So activating model. If the model becomes ineligible before it is chosen as the activating model, then another model can be chosen without restriction. So you're basically paying 2 ki, and you're basically making your opponent advise which model they're going to use next, which is pretty sneaky and very tactile there. Gives you a bit of an option. Now, Koai's unique effects. At the start of this model's activation, choose one of the following. This model gains Agile until the end of the activation. Fantastic. And then this model gains Evasive until the end of the activation. So I believe Evasive is you're ignoring zones of control, and Agile allows you to ignore enemies in base contact with you, so you can just get out of trouble. Really, really good. I like Kodai a lot. Some people say that there is you can use Biko, which is a Ronin model, which sort of has the same sort of abilities. But I like Kodai for that prediction ability. It's really, really good.
Yeah, no,
Plus
I really like. Oh, the model's gorgeous. Yes, no, I definitely agree. And Hail of Steel is just brilliant.
Yeah, Rapid Fire 3 is really, really good.
All right, I'm going to move on to Rin. So, Rin, surprisingly, has another really great model. They all have good models in this faction. So, Rin will cost you 24 rice. She's from the Bleeding Moon faction. She's a ninja. Surprise, surprise. She has 4 melee. She can boost it for 3. Because 4 is not enough, apparently. She can move 4. She can boost that for 3. She has 3 range. Boost it for 3. She generates 2 ki. She can hold 8. She has 6 wounds. She has a ninjato, which gives her a +1 strength. Sidestep defense 0 and combo attack 0. Combo attack 0 was really nice.
Especially on a 4 melee model, definitely.
Oh yeah. Armor 1, assassin, camouflage 2 inches, courage 1, feint 1, indomitable 1, light-footed, and tireless. On a 4. Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah.
Cobra.
She's got Indomitable 1. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, so she's got Indomitable 1, which makes her for a combat. She's a combat monster. She's part of the Bleeding Moon sort of clan, so they're all about combat. She's really, really good. Having just been not being able to be, you using your activation when you want. You can't be stripped of them in combat. Indomitable 1, so she can be outnumbered 2 to 1, and she doesn't care. And Feint also is really, really cool. I mean, I believe Feint is you get to reroll. Is it dodge? I believe. Yes. Sorry. No.
Yes.
Sorry. You're re-rolling the defense dice, I should say. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're seeing as she is a combat monster and being able to make your opponent re-roll one dice on, you obviously you're going to make them pick the highest defense dice. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Cobra Strike. Cost
You
you
should be
2.
familiar with it.
Yep. Cost you 2. It's an instant. Only affects her. Gain lightning reflexes until the end of the phase. Dirty Fighting. Cost you 2, but you need to be active. Enemy models cannot declare the use of special attacks or defenses and melee exchange with this model until the end of the current activation. That is nasty.
It's brilliant.
Oh, what's
brilliant
that,
for a combat?
What's that, Mr. Ito player? Oh, no, I'm very sorry, but you can't use sidestep defense right now. Oh, what a shame. What's that? It's the only benefit that you have in this game. Oh, what a shame. Unique.
Or I was going to say, oh, sorry, Mr. Monk, you want to use Counter-Strike defense? No. I'm going all attack.
Yep. Unique effects. At the start of this model's activation, choose one of the following. This model gains melee boost 2 until the end of the activation. So then her boost is even cheaper. Or this model gains prowess attack 1 until the end of the activation. Both of those are really good.
Yeah. Brilliant, and also gives you options. These are very situational. So like melee prowess 1, if you're going against something that's a pretty confident, pretty confident fighter, you probably want to go melee prowess. If you want to like kick something to death, you're definitely going to boost your melee for cheap. It's very good. So, when we were building this list, we were talking about having a combat monster. Like every box has like a really confident fighter, and the 2 picks that I sort of had was definitely Rin or Katsumi, who's the guy, who's the gentleman with the he's got the samurai sort of like Oni mask. I like Rin's model, and I just like her perks a little bit more than I like him, but they're both brilliant. This is what we're talking about, options and to have. I like Rin a lot. I think she's really, really good. I was like, hey, I would probably take her because it gives. She's just slightly cheaper than Katsumi. Katsumi. But I mean, she doesn't have the range ability. But when we did this list, we sort of came to about 85 rice, which gave the ninja player, if they want to take our advice on board, 15 points to do whatever they want on like special abilities. So you can tool your guys up even better. If you really want to, you could go try to get like a cheaper worm. So someone who's not quite as trained, but I think you would go more like smoke bombs and add that sort of stuff into your arsenal. I think that was pretty much the 4 models that we had in our like 85 rice. Did you want to talk about Katsumi? Just compare.
Yeah, have a look at Katsumi for us, and then I'll go into one of the worms.
Yeah, sure. So Katsumi, he's 25 rice, so costs a little bit more. He's the part of the Bleeding Moon clan. He's a ninja. He's got melee pool of 4. He's got a really, really intimidating model. He's quite cool. He can boost his melee for 3 key. He's got movement 4. He can boost that for 3 key. He's got range of 4 and can boost that for 3. He's got he generates 2 key, can hold 8, and he's got 6 wounds. I'm going to butcher this, so I apologize. So he's got a Kasurigama, which is his melee weapon. It's got +1 strength. It's got brutal 1. It's a chain weapon of 1, so it has the chain weapon option. He's got sidestep defense 0 and powerful attack 0. So this is your big killing guy. He's also got the Kasuri, which is his lightweight range weapon. It's got sweep attack 0. It's special, and it's only got a melee. Sorry, it's got a range of 3, which is your mid tier. He's got armor 1. He's got assassin. He's got camouflage 2 inches. He's got courage 1, indomitable 1. So just like Rin. He's got jump up, which he gains that for free. So if he's prone, he can jump up for free. And he's got light footed and tireless as well. So your bleeding moon guys are I'm pretty sure have all got a tireless ability. He's got blade. He's got 2 key abilities. He's got blade finesse, which is cost you 2 key. You have to be the active model, and it just affects yourself. This model's melee weapon gains Pierce 2 until the current activation is resolved. He then has 10 Uchi. So 10 Uchi costs you 3. You have to be the active player, and it just affects yourself. This model's melee weapon gains Unblockable 1 until the current activation is resolved. So Unblockable 1 is you remove 1 dice from your opponent's defense roll. So that's, say, for example, you rolled a 3. Let's say you rolled a 3 because you're bad. Or you rolled, let's say your opponent rolled a 1 defense dice and has got a 6, you can remove that one. So that's really, really good. His unique effect, at the start of this model's activation, you can choose one of the following. He gets a melee boost. So his melee boost changes from 3 to 2 until the current, the end of the activation. And this model's melee gains sharp 2 until the end of the current activation. So sharp 2, I believe, is where you ignore tough.
Yes.
Yeah. So this model may only make 1 ranged attack with Katsumi per activation. That's his unique ability. So he's a different kind of combat monster. Arguably, if you want to spend that 1 rice on him, I think he's definitely good compared to Rin. But I like it's horses for courses, really. Like, I like Rin for different reasons. Like, I like how she gets prowess, melee prowess. Prowess attack 1 until the end of the activation. So that prowess attack, can not only be melee, it can also be her ranged if you were to give her range. But also Katsumi's got more. He's got more range, but he hits like a truck. He's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to go into Ujimushi, which is
Ujimushi.
Yeah, it's a unique name. So he's a worm. So a worm is not a creature. It's a ninja that's not fully trained yet, essentially. He's still being trained. Costs you 16 rice. He's a ninja and a worm. 3 melee, he can boost it for 3. Moves 4, he can boost it for 3. He's got 3 ranged, he can boost it for 3. He only generates 1 key, but he can hold 6. He has a Tanto, which has sidestep defense 1, and it's -1 strength. And he has a Han Kaiju for his ranged weapon, which has reload 1. There's no strength, but the range band is 4, 8, and 12. He has Assassin, Camouflage 2 inches, and light-footed. There's no key abilities, but he does have a unique effect. Kohai. During deployment, this model gains the key feat of 1 friendly model in its warband. It is assumed that the key feat is written on this model's card. If multiple models of that warband have this rule, they cannot choose the same feat. At the start of this model's activation, choose one of the following. This model's ranged weapon gains light until the current activation. Or this model removes a reload marker.
So for a ranged model, that's really good.
Yeah. That's very much where you're going to be focusing with this guy. I really like that Kohai ability as well. Because, he is there to learn, and he's obviously very good at learning. He's like Taskmaster. He's just one of these people that just needs to see something, and then he can do it. I really, really like that.
Yeah, or he's like studying from one of the Master. Can't remember the name of the. Of the Axiom. That's it. Sorry, Axiom. So Master Axiom is like, okay, all right, you're going to study against Katsumi. So you're going to follow Katsumi today. So you can choose. And you use one of those key abilities. So he'll get Blade Finesse, or he'll get Tenuchi, or something like that ability. It's very thematical there, so that's really cool. Now, a lot of the other worms would have that ability as well, so you can have that multiple times. So then what you would probably want to do, if you want to take a few worms, which are a lower cost ninja model, which are still good, but they're not as effective. You can do that, but obviously what you want to do is your other ninjas that they're studying from, you want to make sure that they don't all have the same key ability. So you just want to make sure that you're taking that into account when you're building your list.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that he gives you a ranged, he's a cheap ranged model. 3, he can boost his key. Now, assassin doesn't have to be a melee combat rule. It can be if you shoot somebody in the back with the assassin rule, you get to roll 3 dice with your ranged. It's not bad at all. But then pick the 2 that you want to use out of that 3. Yeah. Worms are okay, and they have their place. But as I said, you can tailor your list if you really wanted to do that. We also had other honorable mentions that we sort of really liked the model or liked its sort of rules. I know you were talking about is it Dudico, the other ranged model?
Yep. Do you want to go into Yuto first?
Yeah, I was gonna say I really liked Yuto. So he was one of the models that came in the box set. Sorry, the ninja. Actually, you have this box set. You should play ninjas. You just got to get the cards, which you can get for free. Look, Jason, you don't have any excuse not to play ninjas.
No, I know.
Or you could give me your ghost model, and I'd be very happy about that. Okay, so Yuji is one of the Yuto is one of the models that first came out in the Rise of Kage box set, along with Ghost. So he is a 19 Rice model. He's a member of the North Star Ninja Clan. He is a ninja. He's got 3 melee. He can boost that for 3. He's got 3 range. He can boost that for 3. He's got movement 4. Can boost that for 3 key. He generates 2 key per turn. Can hold 8. He's got a Kasurigama, which is 0 strength. It's a chain weapon 1, sidestep defense 0, and grapple attack 0. He's got armor 1, assassin, camouflage 2, light-footed, resistance 1, range defense 1, which is really great. And he has tactician 1. This is also another reason why I liked him. So he adds +1 to your dice roll when you're determining who goes first. He has distraction. So distraction is a 2-key ability. You have to be, who's that? Is a 2-key ability. You have to be the active player. Target is within 6 inches, and you can't do it if you're in base-to-base contact with an enemy model. So target enemy model must perform a key challenge test of 6. If it fails, you may change that model's facing. So you can basically you would pick a low key generating model and go turn around, or look over there behind you. He has Fog of Hesitation. I like this as well. So this is a 2-key ability. You have to be the active player. It is a pulse of 4 inches. It's an opposed key test, and it's a once per turn ability. One model within the pulse may not be chosen as the activating model until all other models in this warband are exhausted. So that's really, really cool. So if you could see a potential, if you can, when you're playing the game, if you can see something about to happen, or your opponent's doing a plan, and within that pulse, you can make that the last activating model. He's got unique effects. At the start of this model's activation, choose one of the following. This model gains the following weapon profile until the end of this activation. So he's got the Kasuri, which is a lightweight. It's got sweep attack. It's got special, and it's 3 range. So just like Katsumi with that one. And this model may only make 1 ranged attack with Kasuri per activation. And then its other option is this model gains split attack until the end of the activation. I'm a huge fan of split attack, especially when you're going up against large swarms of models. Say, for example, Bakemono or freaking temple temple villagers, or any person who plays Ronin and takes all Ashigaru models because they hate me. Anyway, I like split attack. It's great. Split attack's really, really good. I might touch on chain weapon because we've talked on it a couple of times. So chain weapon, what that is, so you're spending one of your melee dice, and It applies chain weapon 1 applies to this weapon. When using this weapon, models involved in a melee exchange with a model reduces their parry trait to X. So you're reducing it by 1 to a minimum of 0. So if you're going up against someone who's got parry, you can reduce that to 0, which is pretty good. It gives you options there. But yeah, that's Yuto. So I liked him. He's a cheap ninja. He's from more the North Star. We didn't really have many of them, but yeah, I like his model. I think he's quite a unique model. I like him a lot.
Yeah, no, he is good. And then yes,
he's definitely.
Yep.
So I was going to say so he's definitely on our honorable mention list.
Yep. And the one I wanted to bring up, as hinted at before, is Dudiko. Dudiko has, in my opinion, one of the best bows in the game. Cost 22 rice, from the North Star Ninja Clan. They are a ninja. They have 3 melee. They can boost it for 3. They have 3 ranged. They can boost it for 3. They can move 4. They can boost it for 3. They've got 6 wounds. They can generate 2 ki. They can hold 8. They have a knife. There's no strength bonus. Sidestep defense sidestep defense 0. Push attack 0. And the big one, Han Kayu, is a bow with a +1 strength, pierce 3, reload 1, range band of 5, 10, and 15. But remember, this is on a 48-inch board, so that's more than it's a 24-inch board. Sorry, that's more than half the board. So that's a huge threat. Like turn 1, you have a 19-inch threat range. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Armor 1, Assassin, Camouflage 2, Dodge 1, and Light-Footed.
Mm-hmm.
She's got 2 key abilities. Deadeye will cost you 3. You need to be the active player. It only affects yourself. Until the end of the activation, this model ignores cover and tiny modifiers to range attacks. The opposing player may not nominate a new target for this ranged attack. So Deadeye is exactly what it sounds like.
And that goes through that, so that where it says opposing player may not nominate a new target, that would counteract any bodyguard ability. So you're picking off the model that you want.
There's absolutely nothing they could do about it. You also have Mirage. This is exactly the same as what we looked at earlier, so I don't need to go through that again. Otherwise, unique effects. At the start of this model's activation, choose one of the following. Either deploy a 50mm base on the table with this model until the end phase. The area of this base is normal blocking terrain. Sorry, normal blocking large terrain. Or this model gains agile until the end of the current activation. So either, boom, smoke bomb and you can't see me. Or, you want to attack me? No, sorry, I'm going this way. When performing a ranged attack at long range, if this model would benefit from cover relative to the target from a terrain element or is out of line of sight, the target is surprised. So, yeah. I really like this model. I mean, the model itself is gorgeous, but I'd really there's not really a lot of hugely effective range stuff in the army. And that's why I wanted to bring this up, because it really does fill that gap. But you're not going to need this for everything. This is, like, the reason it's not in the list is because, like, this is something that I suspect that you're going to want to own. You're not going to want to use in every mission. I really want this.
Yeah, Dudiko is a really, really good model. I played it. In fact, my opponent in my CanCon tournament used this and came on the side and did a lot of damage to Yuji. My 20 rice samurai who does a pack of hurt. Just that pierce ability, and also the fact that she came on the side and she was out of line of sight, caused Yuji to be surprised. That does a lot of damage, especially with the assassin. Just she's really, really good. Did we have any other honorable mentions that we wanted to talk about, or I think that's pretty much it. I think
we could talk about everybody in theory, but I think to some extent we need to move on to those cards that we want to mention first. Like I said, this is a faction that at this stage has 17 options. Like, you could actually go through and read all of these. It's not going to take you a huge amount of time. But these are the ones that we felt were worth pointing out. It's by no means the only things there that's worth looking at, but they're the ones that we felt. Like you mentioned Axiom earlier, I do think Axiom is one that's really worth looking at. He just doesn't fit with what we're looking at today, but I do think he's a really good model.
Yeah, he's pretty tough. He's definitely one of those models that you just try to hold up in combat if you can, and just throw defense dice like to say no, sorry, like I'm gonna bog you down. But yeah, we're talking about, like, as we mentioned, sort of like enhancement cards and everything like that would make this anybody who's wanting to play this faction, make your model sort of like better. There's an event card I want to talk about, which is Jikoku Berry. Sorry. At the starting phase, so when you're playing this event card, at the starting phase, choose one ninja to gain poison 1/3 until the end of the phase. So your ranged models, you can give them the poison ability. So for any damage that they do, your opponent gets one poison 3 marker on them. So if you were to take, and that also includes range, not necessarily combat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, dishing out poison 3 is a pain in the butt.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I'm going to cover Shadow Moves.
Yes.
So this is an event card. Play at any time except when resolving a model section. Exchange positions with any 2 friendly ninja models in play. So is that, you're exactly where I want to be. Bang!
Yeah. Or, hang on a minute. You're about to kill that model. Here, have my combat monster instead. Deal with that problem. Yeah, pretty good. I also like blind bombs. I think blind bombs are really, really cool. You can have 2 of them max, and they cost 1 rice each. So blind bomb is an event card. The activating ninja model gains the following ranged weapon, and for its next ranged attack. Blind bomb. 3 is a mid range. On a successful attack, with this weapon, instead of a damage roll, center a 1-inch pulse on the target, and all models in that pulse gain 1 blind marker. That's great. So this allows you to, like, gang up on something that's like a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
And you can do that twice.
And
really good.
I want to cover one that I hinted at earlier, which I think most would argue is a must-take, Smoke Bomb. When you can only play this when you're the active player. Deploy a 50mm base on the table within line of sight of a friendly ninja and within 6 inches of that model. Until the end phase, that area of the base is normal, blocking large terrain. 4 max, 1 rice each. I have seen, like, most ninja players will be taking usually at minimum 2 or 3 of these because they too tend to be very, very useful to get you out of trouble or to set yourself up for something. You need to be clever with how you use them, though, for them to be effective.
Yeah. If you would, I mean, but also here's the thing is, that's an enhancement card, isn't it? Or an event card?
That's an event. That's an event.
Yeah, sorry, it's an event card. Yeah. So you could also take that with, like, there's a free terrain piece which is called Smoke Field, which is basically you place a 50mm base at the beginning of at the end of terrain deployment. You place that anywhere you want. So that could be, if you're playing the Skirmish Mission theme, that could be your free terrain element if you really wanted to. Really, really cool. Signaling Flare is an enhancement and equipment card. It costs you 3 rice, and you can only have 1 of them, but it's really, really good to have. So when the attached ninja model ends its activation, you may become the activating player again, beginning another friendly ninja model's activation, then discard this card. So if you move one of your guys up who's equipped with the signaling flare, and then you can go, yeah, cool, I'm going to discard this card, and then guess what? My other model's going to go into combat. So that allows you to do a really quick, like, double tap sort of ninjas, put them where they need to be, or even gang up in combat. It's really, when effectively used, it's really, really good. Also, if you really wanted to, that's going to be 3 rice is a lot of rice to pay for an enhancement. If you're playing Skirmish Mission, that's your free. That can be one of your free options there.
True. I have another one here, Herbal Remedy. It's another event card. Use any time except when a ninja is active. Sorry, except when a model is activating. Choose a state effect other than reloading. One ninja model gains immune to that chosen state until the end phase. So immune poison, immune fire, immune whatever you want. Yep.
Stunned.
The options there are pretty much endless. Anything else in special cards that you want to bring up?
I like this one a lot as well. It's an enhancement card. It's called Cat-like Agility.
Yep.
You can have 3 of them, and they cost you 1 rice each. Now, the attached model gains immune to prone. So, me personally, I hate the prone state. I hate getting knocked prone. So this I like it a lot. I was just like, because it's something I come across a lot. Ninjas are immune to prone. This would be wasted on a ninja that is got jump up, because you jump up for free. But I guess you can not be knocked prone, so it has its benefits. But yeah, I like it a lot. Cat-like agility.
Yeah. You hinted at this one earlier, so I thought it was probably worth mentioning Disguise. The attached model begins the game with a Disguise 6 marker. It's another option there.
Yeah, that's not bad. You can give that to a couple of models as well. So it makes it hard for your opponent to target them until you choose to, because they'll be like, "Oh, hang on a minute, that's not Bob from accounting." Once they But there's a lot of enhancement cards. I think ninjas have access to a lot of them, a lot more than most other sort of factions.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, at this stage, they've got about access to 17 models. Just letting everyone know that, if you haven't already, veteran players would know this. Ronin ninjas won't benefit from any of your faction cards in terms of like enhancements or like events. So I just want to keep that in mind.
Yeah. So, this is an episode that's been coming for a while, and this is, out of all of them, I think this has probably had the most amount of research that had to go into it, because neither of us are ninja players. I'm out of the 2 of us, I'm probably the one that's the closest to really wanting to play them. I'm still not quite sure. I would really love to play the ninjas. I'm just not, and not just like yes, I own copies of the plastic models, but I'm not convinced that I'd do very well with them. And no, you can't have my ghost, because I still want to play that board game again. If you're ever down in Melbourne, you and I are going to play Rise of the Kage.
Okay. Definitely. That's ever going to happen. Just remember, on ninjas go stab, stab, hew, hew, hew. That's just what you got to remember.
Yeah.
I think, you're right. This took us a bit of time, because we had to get a lot of opinions and sort of funnel it down into a lot. It is very, it is for people who want a personalized faction. If you want to like tailor it to how you want to be, you can do that with any faction, true. But ninjas, I think you can do more so, because there's many ways to skin a cat, as I probably said before. But yeah, I had a lot of fun researching these. I would buy ninjas, but I just painted a bunch of void monks, so I'm kind of overpainting black models. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Down the line, I might end up doing it, but I don't know. I still got a lot to learn, as most of us do. But I had a lot of fun learning something new today. Over the last couple of weeks while we were doing research for this. But yeah, ninjas are really cool. Give them a go.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely worth it. Coming to the end of this episode, that only leaves us with one left. And it's not a faction, it's the Ronin. So,
Yep.
Next week we're going to be touching on the Roman.
Yep.
The Ronin. There is only one box set that's actually available for these guys, which is the Brotherhood. But we will probably be covering a little bit more than just that. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time, play on. It's like I can just talk and I don't have to think. This is great.